Hi, I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. Welcome to our town. I think we have the show of the year ready for you today. And sitting with me is Katheryn Wilson. And to me, Katheryn and Bob Wilson, they're the folks who bring hay for my horses. And so that's how I made this acquaintance. But last year when I was getting hay for my horses, Bob said to me, "My wife's building a radio station." And I said, "What?" "My wife's building a radio station." I said, "Bob, I want to have her set on camera and tell us that story." So Katheryn, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm really privileged to be here and share this with you, as it's been a work of faith and love.
So you're the president, general manager, and all-around good guy at 106.5 KGIH. Why'd you build a radio station?
Wow. Well, I had a radio class in college, and I'm a speech and drama major, so you know, I like that sort of thing. And I happened to go to a conference of Women of Grace in Lincoln, Nebraska, that had a Catholic radio station announcer on it. And I'm going, wow, I didn't even know there was such a thing, and I've been a cradle Catholic. And so I was very interested and inspired by what she had to say. Catholic radio is just a different message. It's a different language, sort of, to say. And I've listened to Christian radio for years and years. And so I was really delighted to see that our church was featuring this. So I became interested and followed my search to EWTN, which is Eternal Word Catholic Network, and they have radio and television studios in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
So there I found myself going to conferences there and training to learn how to get a low-power FM station. Low-power FM station is designed to just be a community resource, and only to go out maybe 15 miles. You can travel maybe a lot further by car. I can get it in the radio to Salinas sometimes. Sometimes you can't, depending on the weather. But we're local and designed to just address our church, and we have many, many programs on it, and I would speak to those for men and for women. I've listened to talk shows. They're mostly talk radio, so you gotta like that. But I got a lot of information that has helped me in my walk, in my faith. And there is a show that takes atheists calling in, for example, and I've so enjoyed that because I never understood where they were at and how they, what they were thinking and why they were thinking. So I've learned a lot about other faiths and other people, and mostly our Pope has directed us to encounter Jesus and be with him in your walk. And so in this station, it has been quite a walk. We started out, we needed to be incorporated, so we got our Kansas incorporation. We needed to be tax exempt, so we got our tax exempt status. Of course, we needed to have our bishop on board, and we convinced him that we were not going to do a terrible job, and so he liked that, and so he's very much involved. We have a priest moderator, Father Gail Hammerschmidt from Junction City, at St. Xavier's, and he helps us a lot with being very precise in what we're saying. So that's kind of the walk we got there, and is there anything you would like to ask me?
Yes, there's a lot of things I want to ask you, but first, before I get to my questions, I want folks to remember this. So you're on I-70 and you're coming from Salina, and you're at the first exit of Abilene. You look to the right, and a big blue water tower out there. And then there's an uplink, a satellite uplink, and then there's a radio tower standing there. That is 106.5 KGIH, and it's the epitome of local. It's right there on the Abilene exit, setting on the Wilson's land. And that signal is spread throughout our community, our town, to prosper the message that is on EWTN and other Catholic content. So my question, nobody builds a radio station without a reason. What I told Bob, I said, nobody builds a radio station without a reason. So the reason is a mission. And you were bringing hay to me just the other day, and you said it was a calling for you. A calling means an inspiration to your heart, redirected back out of your heart. So what was that calling to your heart, Katheryn?
Well, I've had many ups and downs in my life. And when I saw this opportunity, I knew it was of the Lord. So stepping forward is stepping out of where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And our bishop called me to formation. And formation is ministry, a series of ministry classes. And I thought, okay, I'm just doing that to please him. Wrong. The first class I took, I knew it was a call. The reason I was at Catholic Radio was because it is who I am and what I want to do. And I love to share the word. And the word became real.
Mm-hmm.
And it went out to people that are struggling. There are many times in my life I've been on the low side. And I would flip on Christian radio, and I would find that teaspoon of love I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And Catholic radio has done that for me, only it's my language.
Right.
I understand the words.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of, it's been a deep call, and one that I am thankful for. We all are either sons or daughters of God, and coming forth, we need to encounter people with love. I have had a deep change in my attitude on, well, I'm this way and they're that way.
Mm-hmm.
That has no bearing today. What today is about love who you meet. There is Christ in them. And it's very seldom do I meet someone that can't accept that.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that probably can't. And I get really afraid that I'll have to defend everything I'm doing, but that's not where I'm at today. It's okay. I just go forward, and taking one step at a time is the best way. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, a long road.
Oh my, there's so much in those comments. I want to restate some things that really impacted me. You said in order to step forward, you have to step out of where you are. That a step forward is a step out of your place of comfort. That is tremendous wisdom to anything that the viewer's thinking about in their own life today. If you want to go forward, you have to move, you have to be willing to move out of where you are. Simple words, isn't it, Katheryn? But it is a big, big concept when you, and in the Christian walk, I think another thing you said that's so helpful for people to understand who are not religious or Christian in nature is they don't understand that there are different languages, that you said this speaks to you in your language of Christianity that you understand. There are different words and there are different patterns of faith within the faith. And it's helpful to people to be comfortable in something they understand. Maybe they haven't brought it inside their heart yet, but if it's presented to them in the words that they understand, they're more likely to. One more thing before I give you back the floor, and maybe with a question, is we put a lot of people in this chair. We talk about economic development, we talk about law and order. I've had the sheriff, a good friend of mine, a number of times in the chair. And we talk about the challenges in our community. Your last few sentences or paragraphs was about expressing love to people instead of question, and instead of divisiveness, expressing love. There's not a social problem in our town that isn't caused by the lack of love. and being able to put love back out into the world and acceptance and saying there's a better way is the answer to everything.
Amen.
So, boy, I just so applaud you for doing this. I knew it would be a fantastic opportunity to have you on camera. So, you know, I'm also pretty confident that you're probably not that interested in talking about Katheryn Wilson, but you are probably interested in talking about what it is you do and some of the people who have brought you to where you are. I see this picture. You know who it is. I don't, but I'm a good holder. So I'm going to do the holding. You're going to tell me who it is.
This is Mother Angelica, and she is a nun, obviously, and she is the foundress of EWTN television and radio networking, and it runs all over the world, Eternal Word Television Network. And they developed the radio side later, after that, and she's had a long, good life. She just passed away this year on Easter Sunday, actually, in Birmingham, Alabama. And she's a gutsy lady, went out and just took those steps forward, one step at a time, had horrendous debt in getting this, but some very rich person stood up and said, here's what you need to do that. And that's how she got there, by being unafraid. To be afraid is not a problem, but to do nothing about it is a problem.
It is.
And she was not afraid, and she would step out and she would conquer that fear. And she's been a real inspiration to me. So,
locally, what sort of people, or who are the people who surround you and Bob as you venture out into this? Who said that's a good idea, other than you?
Well, fortunately, I had a parishioner, Leo Blasey, who is now in the seminary.
Okay.
That just started talking at a local cafe about Catholic radio, and I'm going, I know about that. I just don't know anybody that wants to partner. So we started in 2012 talking Catholic radio, and we met off and on, and he went to convention, and when we did, and he eventually resigned and went to the seminary, so he said, you can handle this. And I'm going, what? No way. I just thought, what are you doing, Lord? This is not, I like to be second in command. So this is not my greatest thing to do, but the neat thing about our Lord is that he equips you quickly. You learn the bumps and you just keep going no matter the mistakes.
A bit of a rhetorical question, but isn't anything with the Lord second in command?
Obviously. Obviously, it's his station. He can do with it, and I said that all along to my staff. This is his station. If we hit a bump, that's not the way we're supposed to go. And we had many bumps. Yeah. And so anyway, that's how that happened. Just
so you're on the air every day.
24/7.
Tell me some of the highlights that you like the best about your station. Geez.
Well, Jim Schartz is our station manager, who does a lot of the taping and station IDs, and he's also an engineer, which we were very fortunate to have him, and so he takes care of a lot of the technical things.
Okay.
And I just sort of smile, you know. But we have some really excellent programs. The one for women is Women of Grace, and it helps women bring out their femininity and the grace that they do have in a world where they hold back the arms of men from war, believe it or not. That's what they'd like to do. There's one, Crossing the Goal, is really good for men. It talks about being a man and what a man should do and playing it like the game. And this is how to be a good player for Christ. And it equates it back down to the faith that you have and how to do that. So it's, and I have some pictures that we'll be showing later about that. Wow, there's so much good programming here. World Over Live is by Raymond Arroyo, and he tells news from a Catholic perspective. Often we hear news on public radio that isn't quite what how we interpret things, and because they don't have the understanding, they seem to have a veil, which is understandable if they don't understand our faith. But he really tells it the way we believe, and so that's a very good show to watch. And Good Morning Glory is called, by Brian Patrick. He's really good to talk about news at the beginning of the day. So there's just a number of talk shows. I love several priests that really put it to you, and this is how it is, and I need that kind of talk on some days. And so anyway, just you can find this on our website. We have Catholic programming, all program schedule, and he'll give you a shot of that later. But you can go to our website, kgih.org, and you can find links to EWTN, to the Catholic Diocese of Salina, if you have other questions. On the Diocese of Salina, there are many events going on. For example, the men's conference is coming up August 13th, and it's going to be in Hayes this year. And they usually have around 400 men, and they have good speakers. Matter of fact, one of them that's coming is from he's from Focus. Focus is a college program for university students.
I've heard
and
of it.
Yeah, the Conradys here in Abilene have a son that worked in, John Conrady, worked in Focus on different campuses and helping people with their faith. And so that's an excellent source. But there are other events on the website of Salina Diocese that would be of interest to the public, I'm sure.
Well, I tell you what we're going to do, Katheryn. We're going to take a short break so we can throw a break in the middle of the program here. Then we'll come back and we'll talk a little more about the exciting radio tower standing out by the Blue Water Tower, 106.5 KGIH, our local Catholic radio station. And folks, we'll be back in just 1 minute. Hi, Dennis Weiss, back with Our Town. We're talking about our own hometown, 106.5 KGIH Catholic radio station, which was enabled to be on the air by Katheryn Wilson, who's in the seat with me today. It's been an exciting interview for me, Katheryn, to be able to hear the question I ask you standing in my yard as your husband's unloading hay. Why did you build a radio station, Katheryn? Such an exciting answer. You've documented that you feel led and called to do this work, and it's something you have come to feel very passionate about. And I'm tell the folks at home, passion is how things get done. Being called means you're being led, and following a good leader is, again, how you get things done. And standing out on the west edge of Abilene is a radio station that's obviously on the air, so you've got some things done. Well done.
We did, but only with the help of a lot of volunteers. We're an all-volunteer staff, and I didn't mention the rest of my staff. Reg and Jan Conrady, Terry and Doris Chaput, Vice President and Secretary, and Jim is our treasurer. Jim Schartz, I've mentioned him. Leo Blasey was there. If I'm forgetting something, forgive me. Karen Ward was on our board for a time and helped us a great deal. Back to the station, we knew we needed a small building, and one of our supporters, because we're all donor supported, volunteered to have a building constructed for us, and we just, wow, we couldn't believe that. So the men from the shelter in Salina
All right.
built it for us with love. And we couldn't believe it was happening, and we thought, well, we'll pay, we knew we have half of the money, excuse me. But this other supporter liked it so much, he said, I'm paying for the whole thing, and we're going, wow, that's just awesome. So we have video of when they delivered it and how they rolled it off onto this concrete slab.
Oh, terrific.
And we were all just standing there like, wow, I can't believe it.
We need that video.
Oh, you
Make
do?
a commercial out of that for you. Can you get it to us?
I can.
Okay, we'll do that.
I can.
Dave, I'm having a blank, so you get to speak on microphone today. What is the name of the shelter in Salina?
Salina Rescue Mission?
Yes.
Salina Rescue Mission, thank you. Isn't that amazing, that partnership? The opportunity to have those men have something positive to do. That may be for some of them the only positive thing they've done in their adult life.
Yeah.
And they may not even realize it, but the Lord does, huh?
Wow. Yes, he does. And we had a group of men come out and pour the concrete for us. And one of them has knee trouble, and he was down on the concrete with his knees, and we're going, oh, help him finish. But it all came together, and then we ordered a tower from Oklahoma. And Bob and I got in the truck, and we went down and hauled it back, and it came in pieces. And we thought, oh, we'll never get this done, but we did.
Can I put a plug in for Bob?
Sure.
In a husband and wife relationship, a calling for one does not necessarily mean a calling for two. But going alongside is a very admirable thing. And, you know, when I asked Bob the first time, well, I think I said the other day, I said, nobody builds a radio station without a reason. And he poked me and he said, oh, yes, they do. And he looked at you. And I said, no, Bob, she has a reason. And then she's going to tell me on camera. And he laughed and nodded. Bob was just joshing around. But it's very admirable for Bob to jump in the truck and go to Oklahoma and haul back a radio station.
He's a get-it-done person. If the job is there, he stops everything. Let's get this done. And, you know, he had his kind of moments where, are we really going to do this? This is my land, you know. This is a farmer's pasture for his cattle. This is precious commodity. But, you know, he saw where my heart was one day when I was out filming where it would be. Mm-hmm. And I said something like, this is what the Lord has called us to do. This is my dream. I didn't say it was his dream, mm-hmm. But when he heard me say that, everything was okay.
Yeah.
Because he knew I meant that, and that God was there.
Yeah, that's
that
terrific. That's terrific. I knew this would be the interview of the year, for me anyway. Everybody gets to vote at home on their own, but for me, the opportunity to see you two come to a partnership on this and do this, not just talk about it, but do this, is so inspiring. It doesn't matter what the viewer's hope and dream is, Katheryn. They can take from this interview that it's possible to go do that thing that they are called to, that thing they are led to, the thing that they know in their heart they should do. They can do this. No better example than this right here. And such good can come of this to our town, our community. The Lord promises us that His word does not go out and come back void or come back empty. All we have to do is enable or help put it out. The job of filling the bucket up and bringing it back full, that's the Lord's job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun to have you here today. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Only took 2 years to get this interview booked and done, but boy, we did it.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Thanks for coming. Look forward to seeing you the next time I need hay.
Okay, thank you.
Folks, if you've got your radio with an extra favorite, you should try 106.5 KGIH, and from the early morning till the late at night, you can find an inspiring message there for you to listen to. Thanks for watching Our Town today. I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. This is Katheryns Wilson. She's out there putting the word of the Lord out for you and for him. You have a great day.